Kravitz. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good evening and welcome to episode 457 of Picks and Ponies right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your very proud host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We have a very special show. The Kentucky Derby trail action continues to be hot and heavy as we are going to cover simply the best day of racing in Hillsborough, Florida. It is Tampa Bay Downs, or I think it's actually Oldsmar, Florida. It is Tampa Bay Downs, fantastic card this Saturday, late pick 5, Tampa Bay Derby, many other great stakes. We're here to cover it for you. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, bottom right-hand side of the screen, notification bell on the top right, and smash that like button below the video player. We would greatly appreciate it. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, and you can follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. Also, as a reminder, look below the video player. Fantastic information about our Power Picks tip sheet, going strong over the $2 mark for ROI over 5 years. We appreciate it. And we've got a great website that my good friend Pete Visco does a yeoman's work on. Check it out, hhhracingpodcast.com. All right, let me go ahead and get started. We got a lot going on. We're starting half an hour earlier. I got some things going on tonight that I need to attend to, so we're going to start a little bit earlier tonight. We are going to have both my co-hosts on. I know we've been sort of trading off not being here for a little bit, but we will have both our co-hosts on, but not the very beginning of the show. Let's only bring on one of my co-hosts, the aforementioned Pete Visco, who does our tip sheet from the East Coast of Maryland. There he is, Tampa Bay Downs in the background. You know, I always enjoy this card. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Yeah, this is a good one, and I'm glad they did the pick 5, the all stakes. I like when they do. Or is it all stakes, or is there
actually
one
not? There's that maiden race.
No, there's the maiden race, but you know it gets because I thought they were leaving one out, and the last race looked like a toughie, so I think we were happy. But it's a good card, some good horses, some tough handicapping races. Where's our buddy Paul? Is he working something? He's got like 97 jobs, so I'm sure he's at one of them.
Paul is doing the imitation of one of our Pacific Horse player guys. He's in the car. I don't know if he's Honda handicapping. I'm not sure the car that his good friend Bob Mullins is driving, but Paul he is on our way. He will be on the show. Beautiful. He'll be doing it from the car for the most part, Jackson Muniz style. Again, maybe not a Honda, but I'm not sure what vehicle will be. But Paul will be with us here in just a moment. Before we get started with him, Pete, we have some, there's been some news going on in terms of the Triple Crown Trail and whatnot. There's great racing also out at Santa Anita, and we just covered that on Wire to Wire. At least we covered the Coast to Coast pick 5. The Pacific Horse Player boys did a great job covering the late pick 5 with Gino Bacola on Tuesday. Unfortunately, the big cap is a small field, as Just a Touch tries to get his first grade stakes win, but the San Felipe is out there.
It got a little smaller today. It's down to 5 and
5. Crazy.
Yeah,
but the San Felipe is going in the return of Brandt. That's exciting out there.
I mean that's exciting. It's exciting in two ways. Either you think Brandt is a contender, or you're excited to bet against Brandt routing. So depending on what your side is, I think it's an exciting race both ways.
Yeah, he obviously can win the race, but I gotta tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the Baffert horses this year. And again, it's not a Baffert hate things. I don't want people coming at me. Oh, you just don't like Baffert. Cherokee Nation was huge, breaking his maiden with like 100 buyer. That was last weekend, and they're going to the Santa Anita Derby. But really, I curious to see what Brandt does. I've never thought he's a 10 furlong horse, Pete.
Me neither.
But I guess we're not really going to find out Saturday either.
Well, that's the thing. We have to see if he's even a 8.5 furlong horse against good competition. I guess at some point we'll see.
I don't really know what he is.
But
anyway, we'll start our Tampa Bay handicapping here in just a second. I also want to mention we have a great show that's a tape show that we've been doing with Matt Cutera with Delphi Racing. If you're not familiar, ladies and gentlemen, it's called Triple Crown Trail. You can look on our if your notification bell is on our YouTube channel, you get it. It's usually I'm putting it actually inside of our Picks and Ponies sub menu. It's actually not there right now. I am going to put it on after the show, but we taped it. So check out Triple Crown Trail episode 4. Myself and Matt Cutera. We also talked about some Adelphi runners because Adelphi has been absolutely on fire, Pete, as well. But anyway.
Yeah. And you guys did your top 10, right? This week you debuted your top 10s. Yep. Which was fun.
You know what? I actually have it right here. Why don't we just show it and we'll
pop it up.
We're delaying for Paul, but we gotta keep things moving tonight.
Paul's here. Here he is.
Speaking of which, all right, I'll bring him in just a second. And here's actually that's not the top 10. So here's the top 10. Just curiously, if people are interested in my top 10 as of now, I know people are shocked that Paladin is not number 1. I just have him 2, Pete, because he needs to get a little faster. But that was the top 10. Myself and Matt Cutera, his top 10. Obviously, the Fountain of Youth played big in our top 10, Pete.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think there's always these top 10s always have a little bit of recency bias to them because that's the most recent race and generally they improve. But we have how many of that? There's at least 2 or 3 going this weekend, 3 of your top 10 going this weekend. So that could shift them a bunch. Some could fall out, some could move up. So that's exciting.
Yes, sure can. All right, let's bring on our wonderful friend from the Saratoga Special and author and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I don't know if he's Honda handicapping or what kind of car he's handicapping. Paul Halloran, how you doing tonight, Paul? Muted.
He's muted. Paul. Paul. See, that's why he's not the Jackson Muniz of car handicapping yet.
No,
he's got to learn.
I'm not the Jackson Muniz of anything. Yes, I am. Bob Mullins is playing the role of chauffeur for the next half hour here. So, and we will be stopping for ice cream, Pete. I love
ice cream.
Ooh, I do love ice cream. You know what, Pete? I think it'd be very appropriate for them to stop in the middle of the show. We should order something from his phone or something. We'll see.
We have to stop in the middle of the show. Don't worry about it.
Paul, take a rainbow sherbet, please.
A rainbow sherbet.
Yeah, I'll take something a little heartier than that. Yeah.
I knew Pete was going to give me crap for that.
I'll take something a little heartier and a little unhealthier than that. Tell Bob hello from us, by the way.
Yes, please do, Bob. What's up, Bob? Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, the boys say hello, Bob. This is coming from between refereeing and watching my 10th basketball game in 7 days.
Oh, geez, Louise. All right, well, let's get started, guys. People are here to hear about the Tampa opinions. Tampa Bay, late pick 5. Pete, I think you nailed something right on the head right away. Kudos to the racing secretary for not ending the late pick 5 in the last race and ending it on the Tampa Bay Derby as it should be. So this is races 7 through 11. And the Tampa Bay late pick 5 on Saturday, which should have big handle because other than Tampa, the only major races going on really are on the West Coast at Santa Anita. It's such the Columbia Stakes. It's restricted for 3-year-old boys. Mile on the turf, 125,000, field of 9. Moorline favorite, pretty heavy. The number 5, Alpeland for Cassie and Castellano at 9-5. Let's see where we are going, gentlemen, to kick off the early pick 5. Myself and Mr. Visco are going with Mr. Clement. I'm going 3-5-8. Pete's going 3-8-5. Paul's going a little bit off the radar. Paul must have done very well in science class because he's going with Proton. He's going 2-5-1. Let's talk about Proton first. You're up, Paul, for Graham Motion and Johnny V to kick off the late pick 5.
Well, as the least well-rounded person, Howard, I didn't take a science class after the 10th grade. Okay, so
all right.
So,
I had to take a few in my day.
I bet you did, and that's why you're more well-rounded than me. I think this horse is well-intentioned. Graham, we've talked about it a lot. He's not one of those guys who runs unless he really likes the spot. I like the fact that Johnny V has ridden the horse before. You could look at this and say he really didn't run great in that Cecil B. DeMille all the way back at the end of November. I don't really think this horse wants to be on the lead, so I'm going to attribute it to that. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. There's not a tremendous amount of speed, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But I do think he sets a good trip from the inside at this distance. And I don't know. I look at this 5 as the type of horse you got to try to beat, and you guys are trying to beat him too. So I'm not on an island there. I just think this is a favorite you really want to beat. I'm thinking like you guys, just with a different horse.
Paul, would it be fair to say you have a lot of positive opinions about Proton? I'm sorry. It's been a long week, everyone. I couldn't help myself.
Jesus. Apparently.
All right. Anyway, all the science people.
There goes
Pete, all our science people out there are appreciating that.
Yeah, so they're all cracking up. They're belly laughing right now.
Both of them.
We can learn a little bit.
Both of them, yeah. Both of them.
Hey, Dr. K says hello. Pete, John
Dr. K probably got that joke. Yeah.
So Sylvain is here. Oh, look who's here. Might be a new person. Jer Bear, 76. What's up, Jer Bear? Good evening. Great card on Saturday. Love when I see new names in our chat. It is wonderful. Oh boy, guys, I didn't bring it up. You can read on the bottom of the screen, Paul and Pete. Don't blame me.
We don't do that. We don't care about the weather because that has nothing to do with Saturday yet.
All right,
we're okay.
Notice I didn't say anything. Anyway, all right.
By the way, Proton's one of those horses we like to talk about where there's a discrepancy between the time form and the buyer. Where time form had that Cecil B. DeMille as 100, which gave that horse a steady improvement in every race. So if you compare that, if you lean a little more time form, then that race was a little better than the buyer gives it credit for.
I've got him as a B. I'm a big fan of Grand Motion, Paul. I'm not a big fan of West Coast turf horses coming east. Actually, you aren't either. But there's a reason this horse is off a layoff and it's Grand Motion, etc.
And he's an East Coast horse who went west to start with.
True. That is actually a very fair point.
Yeah.
Congressional, Pete. Flavian's going to move the price down. Miguel Clement is 37% at Tampa. Now, this is not really a Tampa horse per se, but all that means is he points his horse as very well meant for Tampa. I actually bet him on this day, Congressional, and I was very happy when he got up. Pete, it took him a little while to get going, but what I like about this horse is he was forward in his first race. And I thought once he sort of got his momentum together in the stretch, he really ran. And visually, I thought this was a visually impressive maiden race, not just your sort of run-of-the-mill, maiden race at Gulfstream. I thought he beat a pretty good horse here. He is all out, but this was his first start as he tips out in the white cap.
Yeah, see, I actually thought it was a little more impressive because I thought the horse would have probably run better and won by more if he was able to just keep him on the rail, which the 4-horse backed up into him. But because I think when he tipped out, you could see and it's his first race, so he's a little green. When he tipped out, he sort of lost some momentum. He lost stride a little bit. He lost some ground too to those two leaders. And I thought then, like you said, once he got going, he kicked in again. And I don't know if now you're getting Pratt. Pratt maybe keeps him in and maybe looks for that spot and doesn't lose the ground and maybe does that. And I think, and the pace, I mean, you're looking on the screen there. Look at those time form fractions are super low. He was able to still close into those. Yes. So I liked both. And I named like Clement is super hot. The one thing I thought about was time form has this horse projected a little further back this time. So I don't know if that was just the way the race went first out, or this one will be trying to close from further back, and we'll see if that's problematic or not. Or if that's the spot where he is. But that's a little bit of a different scenario if he's sort of way back there. But hopefully that's not the case with Pratt. Pratt maybe will have this one a little closer. And Clement, by the way, this is a very small sample size. Second time starters going straight into a non-graded stakes race. He's 1 for 2 wins, 2 for 2 in the money. So he's made this. He doesn't make this move a lot, but when he does well. So maybe he does it smartly, where he doesn't just automatically jump them into a spot where they're maybe not ready for it, and maybe he thinks this one is.
Miguel rarely overspots his horses.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Paul, the stride on this horse. I know you don't have him in the mix. Maybe you're going to use him underneath. This looks like a big mofo who that is a very long stride. I mean, if this horse was in the Ocala sales here next week, Paul, I know he's not. He's obviously 3 and he's running. But my point is, he must have been very good on the stride length factor when he was a 2. He looks like he can run all day. Not only that, Pete, is we know Gulfstream's sort of a short stretch. I think he's going to appreciate the longer stretch at Tampa. The turns are a little less forgiving than Gulfstream, and more importantly, the stretch is a little bit longer, and the rails are down. If he gets a good trip, I think he's got a big shot. I'm curious, though, Paul, if he might be less than 4-1. We'll see. All right, Paul's still thinking. He's still thinking about that.
Either he's thinking very intently, or his screen froze. I assume it's one.
Oh, we can hear you. Just the screen's froze. Oh,
there he goes. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Joe Sarvati 671. Really appreciate you guys, Joe.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for joining the show. Really appreciate it. Now look what you did, Pete. He was okay. Now we scared him off. All right. Well, he'll come back very quickly. Let's talk about the 5 and 8. Alpeland. Yeah, he's very logical. There we go. Paul, you were good. We could hear you, but your screen was frozen. Alpeland, we're going to talk about here, Paul. We've all got second or third. He can win, but I really, why don't we have it on top? He's the horse to beat, no? Paul?
I think so, but again, I think it's a value thing. You know, I just think this is the type of horse that you don't want as the favorite.
I have nothing to add to that, really. I would tend to agree with you. We all actually
real quick. I had a poo-poo stat on Alpeland. If you want to poo-poo the favorite, real quick. Mark Cassie 1 for 20 on the win end in stakes turf routes at Tampa. There you go. Take
and
that
then there's Dave Duncan. Known
Yeah.
a bit hotter than Cassie.
But
at Oaklawn, he's been red hot. Not as hot other places,
here.
Dave, but he's been very good everywhere. I mean, so anyway, and then you got the 8. I like Congressional's main win more than Beautiful War, Pete. It's just that simple to me. The field I thought was better too. That Congressional beat, I thought.
Yeah, I think there was a couple. The 2 things I liked though. Well, the one not negative, but he got a little more pace to close into than the 3 did last out. So it's a lot more pace. Yeah, it's set up a lot better. Yep. I do like that he went, and this is just a thing that I like. He was working really well going into the race. He ran really well, and then he came out, and his work out of that race was good. So I love when they're sort of holding their form. And in that race, the thing I liked for a first timer, he was sort of, and this is your thing, he was sort of stuck between horses. He had to hold up for a little bit, and then once he got loose, he ran down at the 8. He was 12-1, and he ran down the 8-5 favorite. So even if the field wasn't great, he still ran down a horse that was supposed to be better than him. So I think there's some stuff to like about him.
He's got a shot. Let's go on to the next race, guys. I found this, as much as I compliment Tampa for putting the Tampa Bay Derby last, I found this main race sort of a weird place to put it. Like, I thought maybe you can kick off the pick 5 with it. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. You're going to see the board. Now, usually when you have a race like this on a big day, you see some very big names in here, right, guys, in this kind of race. In the main, whoops, sorry, I want to do this. The main special. But you know what? There definitely the Chad is going to take a lot of action, the 2. Other than that, this field is not real strong. I thought maybe you'd see a Pletcher in here or whatever, but we don't. It is a field of 10. The morning line favorite is Right Timing, the 2 for Chad and Flavian. Again, it's for 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs with a purse of 60,000. Let's see where we're going to go, guys, in this race. I'm going 291. Pete's going 210-1. Paul's going 210-9. I gotta tell you guys, I defaulted to the 2. There's not a lot of breeding in the 2. It's not like some kind of $500,000 buy. The works are okay. Like, they don't really blow you off the page. It is a Not This Time, a quality road mare. The works are good. I watched a few of them. The way that this horse is working, guys, I have a feeling there's a lot more in the tank than it looks on paper and in video. And I don't think we're getting 9-5 because I just don't think there's a lot of options here. I think we're talking more 6-5, 7-5. But, you know, if this horse loses, I wouldn't be surprised. I just sort of defaulted to him or her. I defaulted to her. I just didn't see a lot of options here, Paul.
Yeah, I exactly agree with you, Howard. I looked at all the horses who would run, and coming off races with it, 10-1, 36-1. The second choice has gone off at 22-1 twice, and now she's going to be 3-1 today. So I just came to the conclusion that I could not make a case for any of the horses who have run. So I agree with you. This horse, this is probably watch. This will be the type of horse we see Chad win long on the grass with at some point. But as far as this race on Saturday, probably over bet. But I just didn't know where else to go. Similar to you.
And this is the first baby out of the dam. Like, there's a lot of if it wasn't this type of race, I mean, there'd be a lot of question marks here. But there's no freaking way on God's green earth, Pete, that Chad is sending some kind of 3-year-old also ran filly on Tampa Bay Derby day in this race. Like, this horse, we know she's going to be live, but she probably can run too.
Yeah, I assume she can. And my thought, actually, I was with Paul where the only concern I had was she looks like from a breeding standpoint that she's going to be better going longer. So maybe the 6 furlong gets her, and that's what gets her beat. I did have, we poo-pooed the favorite in the last one. I had a crazy stat for Chad Brown. He's 9 for 14 wins, 11 for 14 in the money with first-time starters in dirt sprints at Tampa. Not something you think of a Chad Brown specialty. And I looked at that and I was like, God, so he really knows how to place them here, and he brings the right ones here, and you get Pratt up. But yeah, there wasn't, from a dam side, no runners. She didn't run. You're like, I don't really know what I'm basing it on, except the fact that I don't know. Nobody else looked at it. You wonder if the Challenger
in the country,
right? You wonder if the Challenger would have replaced this race if Disco Time wasn't in it and wasn't such a big favorite, right? Like you might have put that stake.
If it was I don't think it's Disco Time. There you go. I think it's the field size is why the
field size is small, and you have a horse that might be like 2 to 5 or whatever.
Well, look, Skippy didn't like a plane. Why can't they just ship him up to the Challenger?
They should just put him over, right?
There you go. All right. Guys, I don't like Techstar at all, and you guys have her second. I know what you're going to say, and I could be very wrong. There's one thing we're pretty sure of here. If she breaks, unless the 2 is a complete speedball, she's going to have the lead, Paul, on the outside for very low-profile connections.
Yeah, and I thought that would keep the value there. And, again, she, to me, was the least undesirable option of the horses who have run, if that makes any sense.
Hey, Paul, which 38 breezing work was the one that blew you away that convinced you to have this horse in second?
Well, you got to like, Paul, too, when the trainer and the jockey neither have hit the board yet at the meet. That's always promising.
Yeah, actually, 6-1, I think, would be getting screwed now that I look at it.
I mean, honestly,
I laugh now, but the horse is probably going to run
When
huge.
you look at the time form, you're like, am I going to get beat by a horse that just gets on the lead and runs away, and then you're pissed afterwards? That was the only reason why I really put the horse up there.
Look, I suppose she can win. I mean, if the 2 can't run, she gets loose. We've seen crazier things. And that track can be speed favoring on big days at times. Although I think Chat-A-Lot actually is going to show more speed than the 88 Pete. I know turf speed's not saying anything is dirt speed, but she has been working on dirt, and I think she's going to be very aggressively sent from the outside for Carrie Raven. I wouldn't be surprised if Chat-A-Lot actually gets the lead or is just sitting right off the 10. And I just think is a much better animal, even though she's first time on dirt. I don't think we need to talk too much about this race, guys. The 8 is interesting not first time starter. The 8 gets IRAD, but she just looks really slow, and IRAD's going to lower the price. And, who had the one there? Oh, that was just, Pete. I know the one's coming out of 32 Maiden claimer, but that last work looks pretty fast. Isn't this one going to go or show more speed from the inside also second time up, Pete?
You would think so. And that race was one of those that are hard to judge because the winner literally just ran away and was up, I think, 5 or whatever, 4 at the half and just sort of ran away. So it's hard to judge whether this one just clunked up for second or actually ran a decent race and the winner. There was some time form actually like that last one. Time form gave it a 73. which liked it a lot better than the 43. I don't know. Again, we're reaching in a
We
pile of junk for the best of the worst, maybe.
Just single Chad and hope the 2 is as good as we think and move on.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got all the big races to go to. Let's go to it. Race 9. This kicks off the last 3 races of the late pick 5, and they are all fantastic, graded stakes, really good. I think this race, guys, is underrated, the Hillsborough. It's always really good. It's a grade 2. It's on turf for the girls. The purse is up to $225,000. Mile and eighth, field of 8. There are 2 Chads in the race. Including the favorite on the inside, Whiskey Decision, the 1 horse, Forgus Chad, and Flavian Pratt. Let's see where we're going to go here, guys. And Pete and I are going with the 1. Paul is not. I'm going 147. Pete's going 184. Paul's going 261. Paul, I'm going to go to you first. I don't know what happened. Proctor Street was so bad last time, and I liked her. I don't know what happened to Proctor Street last time. But she's 9-2. She absolutely fits. She's capable of bouncing back with her best effort for Mr. Walsh.
Yeah, and more importantly, Mrs. Mosley. I always pick the source, so I will say that right up front.
Hey, you won 5 out of 9, Paul. So you're doing all right so far.
Yeah, she's pretty good. And one thing I do like, Pete, she's only run this distance once. I think the distance is beneficial, the extra half a furlong. Bob's going out to get the ice cream now, in case you're wondering.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
You need friends like Bob who drive you in by the ice cream.
That is so nice. I can't wait to have that rainbow sugar through the
including one
screen.
for Julie and Martha that I'm bringing home.
Oh,
you better give him a cut of this pick 5 if you hit it. By the way,
that's a good idea, Pete.
What does Martha like, Paul?
This horse is legit. I think 9-2 is fine. The junior's horse obviously is a factor. I played against, ran really well the last 2 times. Came home like a freight train last time to win that Pegasus out of nowhere. But I think Proctor Street gets a good trip from in there. She's very consistent, as you point out. 5 out of 9 wins. Only 2 races off the board, and I'm just going to hope that Pegasus is one of those too bad to be true races and go from there.
Well, what happened last time, Paul? We're going to show the race in a minute because actually let's show it right now because you got just Whiskey Decision and Destino d'Oro were also in the same race. I liked Proctor Street. She was bet. She was 9-2 here, a soft second choice. Yeah, in the race. I watched this a few times, Paul. I just didn't see any excuses. I don't know what happened. It was just she just didn't. I don't know if she didn't like Gulfstream. But watch the 3, 7, and 8 and 10. 3, 7, 8, 10. But especially watch, in my opinion, the 7 Whiskey Decision, who had trouble a few times. But again, 3, 7, 8, 10. Let me just take it to the stretch. We'll get right to it here. Again, 3, 7, 8, 10. Let me freeze it. The 10 is, and one more time, was in this race. She's the 10 there on the outside. You've got the 8th, your horse, Proctor Street, right here. The winner is going to be Destino d'Oro, coming from actually pretty far back, not even on the screen right now. And Whiskey Decision's actually right next to her. Let me roll that through a little bit more so people can see. You see the 8, the 10 is stalking. I mean, I don't know. Proctor Street had to wait a little bit, but no real excuse. And then here comes the 3 and the 7. The 3 is in this red and white. And here's Whiskey Decision right behind. Proctor Street just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't have the kick, Paul. I don't know. It's weird.
And you know what, Howard, now watching this again, I having better that day, because I do always better. When she got the rail like that, I just said, wow, this is a great trip. She's going to come up. And she did run till about the 16th pole, but really dropped anchor after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, you might have touched on something, Howard. First start ever at Gulfstream. Maybe she didn't like it. Who knows?
Possible.
All I know is I'm going to get 4-1-ish if she wins, and I'm happy to take that.
Yeah, when she's good, she's really good. Pete, this is one of my plays of the day, and I know she's 2-1, so it's not exactly creative thinking. I'm not going to go back and watch and show the replay, but Whiskey Decision, ladies and gentlemen, checked, I thought, and studied a few times. She was just very uncomfortable early on. I thought she lost more ground than it looks, And you saw that replay, she was the 7. She really kicked on late, and she was right there with Destino d'Oro basically after the trouble. It's second off the layoff. It's Pratt. Chad could send a lot of his female horses here and sends this top one. She's just really honest. She's not a superstar, but she fits this race like a glove. I think the 1.125 is good for her. I'm expecting a huge effort. I might even single her and go for it in my pick 5 here.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And she's another one where time form sort of likes her races better than Bayer does. She has 121, 120, 120, 118 going backwards, going back to front. So time form even likes him a little better. But I agree with everything you said. I just thought when you rewatch that race, and we didn't focus on her, but we don't need to. The trip was just not very good. She got dropped to last. She sort of got into traffic. I will
show the beginning. We do have to show the beginning because that's what we're talking about. People are going to wonder why, Pete, if we just say it and not show it, I suppose, right? Let's just show the first you can talk about it. She's the 7. She's going to steady in behind. Let me make this. I'm trying to make it bigger. Let me go a little forward. Watch right here. See this?
Yeah, she's steadying right there. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll show it again. You can talk about it. She's in the white there and black cap.
Yeah, she's just sort of in the middle and actually looked like she had a decent position there. Then she steadies. Then she just sort of drops back. Like once that right there. So it's almost twice a little bit of steady and some traffic. Then
it comes up again. She had more. I think she wants to be a little more forward.
Yeah.
And she just couldn't.
Well, in the prior races, she sat a little closer to mid-pack. And now you see her. She drops all the way back to last quickly. And then she has to sort of navigate. And then she finishes with when you look at the incremental pace, her final fraction is better than anyone, even though it looked like Destino d'Oro was rolling, Creval d'Oro was rolling. She came home the quickest. She just was a little too far back and had too much to do. And I don't assume Pratt's going to make that mistake. And it wasn't a mistake, but I'm assuming Pratt's not going to hopefully allow that to happen again. It's probably
even right there. She had pull back to get to the outside, and she wanted to maybe go through here.
I mean, she's still splitting. Yeah, I mean, she's right there, but. Yeah, I just think she had a lot more run in her, and if she gets a better trip, she's going to be. And again, that's why she's 2-1, though. So we're not discovering, we're not discovering gold here. But
wait, Pete, are you saying the Galpa was good?
Because that's exactly what I was saying. I mean, come on, that's where I'm always. Right. That's always my first thought.
Howard, the jockey on that winner, was that the guy that you and I were arguing with the moron on Twitter about the other night?
Oh boy.
All his horses need to go to the outside. What was it, Paul? Doesn't his horses only run when they're monsters?
I don't know. I stopped reading what the moron was saying because he was so moronic.
Hopefully it's not a tip sheet subscriber that you just called one.
No,
I hope he isn't. I don't want him. He's a moron.
Destino d'Oro is really good, guys, and I've really nothing against her. I just want to go a different direction. I don't want her on top again, but she obviously can win. We've got a lot of their horses.
For some reason, I thought the moon is here
for Chad.
I thought down, by the way. Yeah.
What's that?
I thought the Destino might be a little better, 1 1/16 down.
Okay.
Even though she has one going 1 1/8, but I don't know. That was just my half-assed thought about it.
Okay. The Aussie Girl race, I thought Scythian got a really good trip, but she can improve. We've seen horses improve from 3 to 4. So, and one more time was the 10 in the race that we showed. Anyway, a lot of ways to go, guys, but it looks like we're going to go with the inside horses.
By the way,
it looks like Paul might. Oh, I thought Paul got his ice cream. I thought he was covering up the camera.
No, it's in the back seat. I'm going to have it at home.
Well, what do we got, Paul? I mean.
Oh, I'm boring. Vanilla with Jimmy's. We call them Jimmy's. The rest of the world calls them sprinkles.
Chocolate or rainbow?
Chocolate, of course.
Chocolate?
Come on.
Okay. I'm a rainbow guy. I'm sorry.
Of course you are.
I'm sweet and fun. That's the way. That's what.
Paul, no, honestly, is Jimmy's? Is that like a Boston thing or a Northeast thing? I'm actually never. heard
we
that
said in Jersey too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
I say sprinkles now, Paul. I've been converted, so I say.
No, not me, Pete. You know me. I don't convert, Pete.
Wait.
Well,
what is
20 years? Yeah.
What does Jim have? Why not Scotty's? Why not Michael's?
They call Jimmy's, right? Not sprinkles. No, Bob says Jimmy's still.
Yeah, but why? What's the origin there? I really want to know.
That's what they're called. What do you want me to tell you? That's what they're effing called. They're Jimmy's.
Jeez, the guy gets in a car, Pete, all of a sudden. gets an attitude.
He's
Jeez.
angry.
Angry.
He's angry.
Oh.
Maybe, you know, Pete, they didn't put enough sprinkles on there. Sorry, they didn't put enough Jimmy. They didn't
By
put
the way,
enough Jimmys.
that is a yellable offense because there's nothing worse than when you get the Sunday and you're like, come on, we need to be. That's why I just do it at home, Paul, so I can just load them up myself.
All right, we're frustrating the people. Felipe's like, let's just get the picks out. All right, here we go. All right. By the way, Tom called there's sprinkles in and there's sprinkles too in Chicago. But anyway, all right, moving on.
By the
guys.
way, real quick, and one more time, had a weird trip. I think that horse is going to run much better this time.
Weird trip in the one we just watched?
Yeah. Weird
Really?
start, sort of dropped back, then rushed up. Like Castellano gave it a weird ride, like rushed up wide, and then I don't know. There was a weird trip. Yeah.
I have her as the C,
Right.
Pete. I'm gonna use her for that reason.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't like her at all. Interesting. Okay. There isn't a lot of speed in the race, though. Let's move on, guys. Let's go to race 10. It's at the bottom of the screen right now. It is the Florida Oaks. There it is. This is for the girls, 3-year-olds only. Mile of 16th on the turf, 200K. Field of 11. Morning line favorite is the number 7, Time to Dream, for Pletcher and IRAD. Guys, there's a horse in here that I absolutely love. Love. I hope she's in the race. We'll talk about it more. Excuse me. I'm going 5-6-9. Pete's going 9-11-5. Paul's going 7-9-5. We are literally all over the board. Pete, you get to go first with the number 9, Coca Motion, who was in fast motion in her maiden win. Boy, she completely blew out that field on a contest day for me. So I remember the race very well. She was ultra impressive for Beckman and Genevieve 9-2.
Yeah. She actually beat the horse that you were talking about first out, Chat-A-Lot. So we'll see how Chat-A-Lot does if it's a precursor for this one.
Good
But
call.
actually, this one though, I don't have. You say it sounds like you have a pretty strong opinion. I had
do.
5 A's and was sort of couldn't decide between which ones I liked. So I was all over the board in this one. But this is another one.
Typical Pete, just riding the fence as usual. We know Pete. You don't take stands. We get
I don't lie and try.
You're
and
equal opportunity lover of all horses.
you can sense that you can go spready when you have a Chad Brown in one race that you might single, so it's okay. But yeah, this one is another one, had a really weird race. I mean, just sort of hung out and last for a while. Then you made a huge, Toledo makes a huge middle move, moves this one up, and then just draws off and runs away from the field super impressively. So just visually, and the figure comes back pretty nicely. And
yeah, very
so I'm
good.
looking at that. And then she had the best time form in the field overall, and that was her debut race. So hopefully you see.
She's the 6 on the outside who went off at 10-1, by the way. Completely blows by the field in the stretch.
So she makes that move, and you're like, oh, is she going to, if you're watching it live, you're like, oh, is she going to, maybe this going to be a tussle? Is she going to hang a little bit after that move? And no, she just freaking powers away super nicely, super professional for a first-time starter, I thought. So I was looking at that going, man, if there's a move forward from this, then this could be a pretty high-quality horse. Whit Beckman, he doesn't have a ton. There wasn't a lot to draw from. We're going from like a maiden jumping up into a graded stakes. He didn't have a ton, but he's short sample size, but he's won 3 out of 5 at the meet, 4 out of 5 in the top 2. You get Johnny V, who this horse can run that sort of maybe first over trip that he likes to run. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of talent here, and if there's a move forward, I think she might just be better, and you're getting her at a half decent price.
I've got her 3rd, Pete. I know exactly what you're going to say, and it's fair. You can only beat who you can beat. Tax Holiday was the heavy 6-5 favorite and got shuffled way back in this race and finished 4th to last, didn't run at all. The rest of this field, if the fig wasn't so good, I would completely dismiss this horse, because this she's facing like a grade 1 field compared to the field she faced in her debut. But her fig was so damn good, Paul, and you got her 2nd. You got to believe she's live here.
Yeah, and if you look at the chart, you could see that the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd horses were 2nd to last, 3rd to last, and 4th to last after a half mile. So the race, but having said that, Pete, you're right. Pete, as you were explaining that, I'm thinking if you played the horse, you're like, shit, I hope he didn't move too early here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking watching it. Even though I knew what the result was, I was like,
he opens up by 7. Yeah, so I could see that horse. I do agree though with Howard. I think the field was suspect. In case people don't know, and I know our listeners and viewers are pretty astute. Whit Beckman worked for both Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher at one point, so he's.
By the way,
there
you
you
see
go.
that, Paul? Look at that.
Jimmy's
Look at
named for James Bartholomew, who operated the machine that made them in the
Now, that's good
30s, and I was
research.
not around then, contrary to popular belief.
Wow. Thanks,
that is
John.
some
Appreciate
excellent
that.
research.
Hey,
Yes.
John, did you know James? Just kidding, John. He's laughing. Please, John, please tell me you're laughing. Okay. I've met John. I'm sure he's all good with that. Yeah, I think the horse made an early move because just John V had so much of
And that
her,
much better,
right?
And she was
Right.
that much better.
Right.
Yep.
All right, Pete, let's go to Paul.
Let's go to your horse.
Let's go to you.
You have such a why don't we go to your horse since you have such a live opinion?
No, I want to go to Mr. Jimmy at the bottom of the screen. Let's go to
Okay.
time. Let's go to Time to Dream first. Who, I mean, she was very classy last year. Not necessarily fast, but classy. This is an interesting spot. It's Rapoli, it's Pletcher, it's Irad. I mean, another logical type for sure.
Two really good races to start at Saratoga. She was really good in the PG Johnson. I mean, again, it's a listed stakes. Way far back in the Jessamine at even money, and then the Breeders' Cup is the Breeders' Cup. Things just did not go away. You talked about Cassie being so hot down in Arkansas. Well, Pletcher seems to be hot everywhere these days. He's doing really well. Obviously, no problem coming off the layoff. Irad sticks with this horse. Jose had the first time around, and then the reason I would suspect Jose didn't ride in the second race is he was probably at Kentucky Downs that day. I bet if we checked, and Irad took over.
Mhm.
So I just think this horse has every right to move forward as a 3-year-old. Again, with Pletcher, no problem with the layoff. The fact that she ran that well first time out makes me have even less of a problem with the layoff. So I like that. This horse is going to be a single for me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow. The other thing
We
I do want to
don't
mention.
even have it on the board, me and you, Howard.
No, nah. The other thing I do want to mention, here's one of the reasons why, Pete, and you guys remember this from last year. Remember how sort of very mad that juvenile Phillies division was last year on the turf?
Yep,
and
that's fair.
So I know she's classy, but how good were those horses, right? So just want to bring that up, take it or leave it.
No,
but
that's fair.
Everybody hated her going into the Breeders' Cup too. And she was a low price, and she ran pretty poorly. So
and they were right.
They were right. Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys, number 5. This is one of the tip sheet plays, by the way, and I don't know why we don't have more people buying our tip sheet. It's been fantastic, very selfishly and slightly arrogantly. But anyway, it's so inexpensive. I mean, the tip sheet this weekend, guys, like last weekend was 7 pages for $5. Are you kidding? Less than $5.
By the way, we've been hitting nicely paying pick 5s
Sure
every
have.
week. By the way, so on our grid.
You guys have been rocking it, and no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Anyway, Dan Donna, guys. First of all, is entered in an allowance race at Gulfstream. I've not heard details, but she's on the AE list, guys, with Micah Husbands listed for Safi. And here it's Pratt in the main body of the field in a stake race. This horse is probably going to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
So that's number 1. When's the last time you saw a Safi horse cost over $1 million? This horse costs over $1 million. No guarantee that means she's going to be any good. She won a slow main race on the Tapeta last year over the summer. That as a 2-year-old, clearly that wasn't the main intention. Something must have happened a little bit, or they wanted her to develop. She came back in allowance race, and it was a pretty good one, guys. Nothing like crazy, but Wine on Sunday is a nice enough horse, and with a 73 and an 81, that would fit here in this race, right? If Wine on Sunday was in this race, like, okay, she fits. Backgammon, who she lost to barely, is also in this race. Guys, this is a complete visual play. And I don't know if you saw this. I have a feeling you have not seen the replay here. Watch the number 3. And shout out to Charlie Freeman, by the way, who made a guest appearance on Bet and Boozin', who also they talked about this on that show last night. Watch the 3. Okay, so she got bumped at the start. We're not going to show the whole race here. She's not even on the screen right now, actually. And this was not a crazy fast pace. This stretch run is something. Here she is right here, guys, in the green. I'm going to let it run through. It's a little bit weird because she's making this run, and you're like, okay, I see we were talking about Howard. And now look, she's like sort of, I don't know, she's like in neutral, not really going anywhere. And if I freeze it right here, you guys are probably thinking, Howard, what are you showing? But the light bulb, the $1 million light bulb went on. Even right here, she's not doing anything crazy. Once she tips out, watch this, right? She's going to switch leads. Right do you see she jumped to her right lead? Watch from here on out. You're like, Howard, still, what are you talking about? She explodes right here, the last 16th. She is absolutely flying here. Once she finally figured it out, and you guys know what's coming up next, right? Here she is, completely blows by the winner, and not really asking, just completely blowing by. So she's a little bit green, guys. I understand the people are going to say, Howard, she's not good enough. She's too slow. Really? She's been off now a month, guys, with 2 fast works, and Safi puts this horse in a stake race. I am absolutely fascinated in Dana. I don't think this field's anything special. With Flavian, we're probably getting more like 4-1. Watch this horse come flying in the stretch. If she finds room and gets a trip, guys, look out. Dana, one of my plays of the day on Saturday. There you go. Quick thoughts.
Well, I think Pratt is kind of a tell, as we say in poker, right? He does. You look at how many times he's ridden for Safi in a year, only 14. So I think the fact that he gets on is a little bit of a tell. So good for you, Howard. And
good for me if she runs well. I could be completely full of crap.
I'll tell you what. How much do I love seeing a Tis the Law sell for over $1 million? That's awesome.
So cool. Like, there's a lot of signal in the noise here, Pete. That's all I'm saying. Not only is there signal in the noise, there's noise in the noise. You know what I mean? Like the visual, that's very impressive last 16th of a mile.
Yeah, I watched it too, and she was one I considered to put on top. The only thing that threw me is Safi's bad graded stakes turf record is miserable. And I was like,
bad.
If I'm nipping, he's 6 for 145 in graded stakes turf races. So to me, I was like, I was nitpicking between the top 3 here, and that's what moved this horse down. But I would use this one as an A, and I would use this one on like a caveman, which I'll probably play.
But Pete, if our boy Pitkin can win 2 in a row and break the Eden Wilkes stat, then why not?
Like we say, 6 out of 145, there's still 6 wins in there. So you just got to get lucky and grab one of those, right, in the end.
All right, guys, we got to get rolling. I literally have an Uber in 30 minutes that I can't be late for. So let's get into the Tampa Bay Derby, guys. This is a really interesting race. It's 50 points, 50 points to the winner. It's a very important race. Some of these horses are meant for the Derby. Others I've heard, like Canaletto, who's 5-2, might be pointing to the Preakness. This is a very interesting race, guys. And there's some very talented horses. I would venture to say, even though Further Ado is really the only established horse in this race, my gut tells me this is one of the better Tampa Bay Derbies we've seen actually in a while, because I think Canaletto's the real deal, and Power Shift could be something special also. It's a field of 9. Morning line favorite is Further Ado for Irad and Cox, who supposedly is working very well. Here's our picks on the bottom of the screen for this Saturday's running of the Tampa Bay Derby. I'm going 9-6-5. Pete's going 9-8-5, and Paul's going 5-9-6. Pete, you and I are very similar all day tonight, or all night tonight. Let's hope that we're both correct on Saturday. Paul, Power Shift. I almost put him on top. The only reason I didn't, it just feels like a very, very big ask. That being said, it's also a big ask for my top pick, Canaletto. So maybe I'm not being fair to you, but this horse ran huge against a horse named Expected Value for Chad, who won the race and is going to the fairgrounds, guys, for the Louisiana Derby in 3 weeks.
I got
Bob's or 2 weeks actually, of which I will be at, and we have something to announce about that later. What I miss, Paul?
I walked out of the car with Bob's glasses.
Oh, no! Wait a minute.
How's he going to handicap tonight? Now?
Oh, God. I
what's
hope he
gonna
has
happen?
another pair. What an idiot I am.
Oh,
All right,
geez.
power shift.
All
A
right.
couple of things, Howard. I like the fact that the horses run around 2 turns at Tampa.
Yep.
And 2 turns is still a question for Canaletto,
It is.
right?
Yep.
Further ado, of course, did it at Churchill. And boy, this is an intangible, Howard, but it just seems like things are going well for Pletcher on this particular Derby trail. And
They
he's
are.
putting the right horses in the right spots. And I agree with you. I thought that was just fine for a first out. I think the horse will definitely progress. That's a big number, 96. It's a big number to get beat by. How about running, Pete? How about trying to break your maiden at Tampa? You run a 96 and don't win.
And don't win. Isn't that crazy? That's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's the 3. Did it really professionally, and I guarantee you, was it Johnny V this day? I can't remember, but
no, it was IRAD.
Guys, you think IRAD thought he was like 99% winner right here, and all of a sudden,
yes,
you see some monster flying to his outside in a freaking main race.
Well, he was riding him. Yeah, he was riding him a little soft on that turn, like he was just going to roll the field, and then like, oh no, I'm in a dogfight now.
He got
Paul. There was some bumping. He did get bumped a few times too.
Well, IRAD got caught off guard. He didn't. He couldn't start hurting early enough.
Exactly. I mean, that's a nice having that. Don't you think though, having like a little battle like that first time out is because as opposed to just rolling some field and beating up on some tomato cans. I mean, that really sharpens the knife a little bit for your next race. So maybe he's a little more tested than you would think for a second time starter.
He is Triple Crown nominated. It costs $500,000. He's a Constitution out of a Quiet American mare. Paul, you think distance, no issue? Look, if he wins this race and is 8-1 in the Derby, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, as I say, maybe this isn't Todd's first string or second string, but it just seems like he's making the right moves on this particular trail, and I think this is kind of like a free roll, right? The horse is Maiden, right? He wins. He wins around second. This is a 100-pointer, right? Oh, we have not started those.
No, the winner gets 50
right?
Okay, so he has to win to be guaranteed to be in.
Right. They might run him again. I haven't heard, but I mean, what is it, a month out from the Bluegrass and a bunch of others? So in theory, these horses that run this Saturday could run in a month, right?
Yeah, and obviously how he runs is going to tell that story. If Further Ado runs off the screen and he runs second and beats everyone else by 8 lengths, then let's come back in the Bluegrass and take another shot, right? So, I think that's the huge X factor in this race, Howard. And I like your horse. He's my other A, Canaletto, the horse you pick. Further Ado is the huge X factor in this race. I mean,
agreed.
I will tell you, he had to regress somewhat last time. Now, he regressed 16 points. But having been at Keeneland that day, Howard, and I believe
we were both there, yeah.
I think we were just kind of stunned a little bit. Did we just see? Did we just see that? And I certainly didn't think he won by 20. And then, so anyway, he's the huge X factor here. Does he get back to that race or anything resembling that race? How good was that race? I mean, I was against him in the Jockey Club just because I figured there had to be regression, but there was regression, and he still wins at 3-5. So I think we're going to learn a lot about him, and we'll see how he fits in this equation.
Paul, you would agree you're a bit of a wordsmith, correct?
Well, 2 months from today, you can read 60,000 of them in the same place.
I would say on October 10th, Paul and you and I and many people else were gobsmacked over the effort of Further Ado. How about that? Nice little British word, right?
I know exactly. I was standing in the Phoenix room watching it on a TV and just saying, wait a minute, how many did he win by? And I still didn't think it was 20. I thought it was like 10, 12, 15.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I will say this, guys. I like the fact that he won that way, and then he's able to come back and win the Jockey Club off the pace. So it's just a question of, is that too much of a regression? Was that race just slow? Pete, you're the time form guy. What time form think the Churchill race was equally slow?
The last one, it was a 105, so it was it was a little bit better on time form, but it's still a little light for Derby winner type that you would want. But so I guess my question with further ado is the race 2 back the outlier and the other ones, like where he's good and he's progressing, but is he maybe not good enough to beat some of these? And at 9-5, I don't know the answer to that. So that's why I have him out of the top 3 for sort of that reason. Who knows?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a while since he's run, so we'll see. He could be a better horse. Brad said he's training great. Last quick question, Paul. IRAD's going to Further Ado instead of Power Shift. I hate to talk about the jockey musical chairs game, but it is fascinating that IRAD is on Further Ado over Power Shift, is it not?
I think a little, but you're talking about a horse that he won on twice, including one by 20 lengths and once in a grade 2 over a horse that ran second in a maiden race.
It is Pletch and Rapoli, though.
It is, but Johnny V is their main man still. Okay. So I think I would agree with you that it's interesting, but if I were on, it's not certainly not concerning to me using Power Shift.
No. Further Ado, I don't know what to do. I've got him second. I want to see him run faster other than the main race. So, Pete, I hear you. He's got him off the board, but I'm sure Pete might be using him defensively. Let's talk about Canaletto. This horse, boy, was this horse impressive for Chad when he won on January 25th. Did absolutely zero wrong, exploded in the stretch. The field that he beat, Autobahn came back to win, but Autobahn came back to win with a 76. Lost money, regressed 13 points. The other horses that were at the bottom of the pack were, okay. Look, again, you can only beat who you can beat. The way this horse did it, Pete, was super impressive. Now, he's got to go 2 turns, right? Obviously. He's got the outside draw, but you know what? He cost $1 million. Chad put him in here. I've heard several times this is their Preakness horse. Let me tell you something. If this horse wins this race and does it well, I got a feeling, boys, Chad's going to find a way to get him into the starting gate in Louisville. You guys are both shaking your heads, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. The best laid plans, right? Until you win a huge prep race.
Exactly.
But yeah, this horse was super impressive. There's not really a lot. There's no real negatives except for the two turns, and there's just questions because we've seen horses who look great going 1 turn and then they go 2 and they're not as great. And we've seen that. It's a huge step up in competition. I think you were a little forgiving of the field. I think the field has come back pretty crappy. But again, I always say if you bury the field that's crappy, then there's nothing else you can do. You beat them the way you were supposed to. By the way, Chad Brown, last 3 times he has a second-time starter who won the maiden and went straight into graded stakes. He's won the last 3 times he's done that in different scenarios. Yeah. Pratt's here as opposed to riding Brant in California, which is cool. It's a cool little twist.
That to me means a lot too, right? Yeah. And it's a big day at Santa Anita. Pratt could have ridden many nice horses inside to stays on the East Coast or Southeast for Canaletto. That's got to mean something.
Yeah, you would think so. And I think the pace is a little weird here, though. You don't know who's really. Time Form has Power Shift on the lead comfortably, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. So I think I'd be curious to see the pace because that's what we get these horses, right? We see some of these that were good on the lead on debut, and then they have a little pressure second out and they fold. We've seen that recently. So
talking will be forward. I was going to pull a Hulkamania impression, but no one wants to hear that, so I won't.
That's right. You're right about that.
Yeah, no doubt. The Puma, it was sort of a buzz horse in his debut, and
the chat loves the Puma.
Only lost to Chief Wallaby. Got a sneaky bad trip in the Sam F. Davis. I don't like him at all, but I respect people that do. And you're getting a price. You actually like him, Pete. Last horse we'll talk about. You got him second, the Puma.
The chat's loving the Puma. I saw plenty of Puma love popping around in there. Yeah, I guess my thing with the Puma will just be lost the debut to Chief Wallaby, who I know we both really like. So there's no knock there. Chief Wallaby was just great that day. And then last out, the trip was just stuck behind, checked some. I think he could have at least just been. I think Renegade's the best horse. I'm Renegade's one of my probably 2 favorites for the Derby so far. But
Really?
I love Renegade so far, and
Okay.
I think
it.
the Puma is. I think at least he could have finished second if he would have got a cleaner trip. He just sort of got held up a couple times. So I think if we can just get him a cleaner run, I think he's a tough horse and could surprise here at a price over some of these others.
I think he's going to run better. My pushback isn't this field 3 times harder than that field?
It probably is.
Maybe.
Yeah, it probably
We'll
is. Yeah, it probably is. But, it's hard for them too. So we'll see.
Yeah, fun race, guys. Let's get to our best bets as we got to wrap it up here. Paul, you're going to play a $10 pick 3. Man, hey, you know what, Pete? He's got time to dream. You know why? Because he wants to hit this pick 3. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
He's going 2-6 with 7 with 5-9, singling time to dream in the middle leg. Paul, I like you're taking a stand here.
Yeah, that's all. It's only $40. I can lose $40 in a minute, let alone 3 races. So I'm not going to worry about it.
Pete, you're going to race 7 pick 3 to start the pick 5, 3-5-8 with 2-10 with 1-4-8. Is there like a key price horse in there or someone you
that
really
was
want to see win?
pre-odds. Yeah, it was pre-odds, so I wasn't sure if that was the right construction. I'd have to go back and look at it now after the odds come in, actually.
Okay. I'm going to race 7. I play a little win in place on Congressional, the Miguel Clement horse. And then, guys, I'm going to play a very aggressive double here. Race 9 to 10. If this comes in, this will make my day. Whiskey Decision over the number 5 horse, the turf horse for Safi that cost $1 million. And I want to make sure I get the name right again. Dandona, correct?
Yeah.
Dandona in race 10, one of my plays of the day. That double, what are we talking about? A 9-5 in an open field against a 9-2. I mean, that's going to pay 20-1, 15-1.
I would say somewhere there. I had 17, and I would have guessed 17.
Okay, 17 times 25. I'll take that. That's fine. 425, I believe. I do that math.
Thank you for shopping. Thank you for shopping.
Not bad. All right. I'll take some Jimmies on top of that bet. And it'll even taste better.
I'm glad. I want the next time you go for ice cream, I want you to say, I want a chocolate ice cream with Jimmy's and watch the look you get.
Yeah, the friendly that. Call the what is it? The truck, the other truck that puts him in the straitjacket. That's what they'll do. He tries to order Jimmy's.
It's good to learn something new every day. Paul, I can give you 2 minutes if you want to say anything positive or negative.
I'm good. No, you gotta go. You got plans.
I do.
Go. I just hope, seriously, I hope those who are stuck in Dubai get out of Dubai. And I am worried about the big day. Let's leave it at that.
The Dubai World Cup is...
If I had a bet right now, I'd be betting against, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's not till the end of the month, but boy, that is just let's just hope everyone, humans, horses, stays safe out there and gets home to their houses wherever they live safely. Anyway, guys, we'll wait on that on such a positive note, Paul. Pete, we went to a fun pick 5 into war. I mean, that's we spread all fields today. We sprayed
war. We cover the gamut of everything here. If you want to learn about everything, you come on here. You might not learn anything useful, but at least we'll talk about it.
Guys, I miss being with you. It's a lot of fun. I like when the 3 of us together. We'll obviously we usually are, but sometimes life gets in the way. Anyway, guys, great show. Really appreciate it. For my wonderful co-hosts, Pete Visco and Paul Halloran, say hi to Bob Mullins for us also, please. Paul, and make sure you get his glasses back.
Can't see.
This has been your very cheerful and excited for the weekend host, Howard Kravitz. Episode was at 457 of Picks and Ponies. Crush your bets at Tampa Bay Downs for the Tampa Bay Derby this Saturday. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.
It's, if you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.